Hello. Welcome. You guys, we're having a little bit of tech trouble, but that's okay. We're still going to be great today. Welcome, everyone. I hope that you all can hear me and see me clearly. It's telling me my internet is a little shaky today. But no worries, we're still gonna get through this. We're gonna be great. This is important information. As you all are joining, come in, say hey, say hi. If you all are new to my network, new to my channel or the show, welcome. Yeah, I am Latrice Huff, career and leadership coach to ambitious women of color. And it's my mission and my movement to put more women of color in leadership roles and positions of power. I help you increase your salary and your income by improving your personal brand. All right. And one of the special ways that I do this is with my 3M formula, which is helping you improve your mindset, messaging, and manifestation. So by doing that, we're going to take it back a little bit and really talk about why 2025 is the year for women of color to step into leadership. Seriously, with everything going on, now is not the time to give control of your income, your career, your growth to someone else. As you can see from what's going on in America, in this administration, they're not going to take care of you. You need to focus on this yourself. So, I am truly going to share with you all why now is the time, is the moment. You cannot afford to put your head in the sand and wait for somebody else to take care of it. It's not going to happen. We're seeing now they're trying to erase our history, like firing people from the government, like freezing things that are imperative to us, but to some level they have a lot of control over. It is now time for you to step into your own leadership. And let me just tell you all, I define leadership as influence, impact, and income. Okay, you can control your influence, you can control the impact that you have on yourself, your family, your friends, your community, and you can control your income. This is not the time to say, I'm just going to keep everything the same. You will have less spending power. And this is one of the things I really try to convey to my clients and to you all right now with, they have inflation going crazy, tariffs going crazy. Who knows what our health insurance rates will be? If your income stays the same, you will have less spending power. Let me know if that makes sense. That, like, if it stays the same because everything else is increasing, you will have less spending power. So you need to be increasing your income. This is Now is not the time to be like, I'm a coast. I just want to get a job with the same rate. And I'm hearing a lot of that when I ask people, what's your salary range? They're like, I just want to get paid what I was getting paid before. Sweetheart, no. You can't afford that. Like, if you were getting paid 90,000 in 2024 and you're like, in 2025, 2026, I just want to make 90,000, you won't be able to pay your rent or get groceries because everything else is increasing. You guys, let me know if I'm coming in hot. I'm coming in hot. So let me know if this makes sense. I'm coming in hot because I've been getting a lot of questions and feedback, mostly people saying, like, I don't know if now is the time for me to go into leadership, or I just want to stay where I'm at. And unfortunately, in 2025, going into 2026, that is not an option for us as women of color. It's just not on the table right now. Okay. So let me know if y'all like, all right, girl, I'm hearing you. Let me know. It's just telling me LinkedIn user who's saying hello, I'm here. Let me know who this is so I can give you a shout out. I'm gonna look on my phone too, because sometimes the names will show. But yeah, it's just telling me LinkedIn user. Let me know who it is. Yeah, I gotta put my stuff on mute too, so y'all won't double hear me. Um, Here's the thing. Oh, hey, Angela from YouTube. She's like, yes, I'm coming in hot. I had to come in hot today. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to come in hot. I was like, I'm gonna have to give it to y'all raw, no chaser today. because we just can't afford right now to do the status quo, right? Like the security and safety that we even thought we had in previous years is no longer on the table right now. So we need to be our own leaders, okay? Especially when it comes to careers, business, income. You cannot just be like, dang, I can't negotiate right now. I can't do this right. It's just not an option. All right. Let me see. Oh, I'm trying to speak. Angela says, you're on YouTube. Angela says, hey, Angela. My first time on YouTube, usually see you on LinkedIn. Yes, I'm going live simultaneously on YouTube and LinkedIn. Y'all know I got to be efficient. You know I got to be efficient. Hey, Monica. Like, thank you for checking in and watching. This is why it's so important, you guys. Gone are the days where we can be like, I'm going to sit down, do my work. I used to tell people, build my brand internally and get promoted. That is gone. Right now, it's like we need to be building our own, asking for more, controlling our own career. And what that looks like, and I'm gonna be very honest with you. What it looks like is doing things that you're a little bit scared of. I'm not saying go into the deep end. I'm saying if you have already been doing your boss's job, if you have already been doing the work of two people, why not start applying to your boss's job? If you're a manager and you know you're doing the role of a director, why? And especially if you see the writing on the wall and your company is either doing layoffs or your industry is shrinking, why not go for a leadership role in another company or another industry? Why not? This is what it looks like, applying for that next level role. It looks like creating your own brand. You could be on LinkedIn. I show up every week on LinkedIn, you guys. You do not have to do this like me. You could just post something every week, 2 or 3 times a month. You're creating your own brand, your own sphere of influence and impact in your own way that your boss and your company does not control. And let me show you how that will work into income. I started posting on LinkedIn while I was still working a full-time job. My first clients came from my company and LinkedIn because I started building the foundations while I was already working. I started showing up as a leader while I was already working. We need your voice. We need your impact now. And you don't need anyone else to control you or your message. It will limit your income. I have personally had it where I did a few posts and then people reached out to me to do paid speaking engagements. I have clients now where when they came to me, they're like, all right, I just want a new job. I was like, okay, we're going to get you a new job, but we're also going to position you as a leader in your industry. And they started getting paid speaking engagements. I have a client now, she charges $3,000 for a paid speaking engagement. This is how you're taking control. This is how you become a leader in your sphere of influence, and it can increase your income. I'm not saying go out and be an astronaut, right? I'm saying in your sphere of influence, in your expertise. But now is that we simply cannot afford to stay things as the status quo. Is they're getting rid of diversity and equity and inclusion programs. What we're seeing on the flip side, remember early in the year, they were, oh, this is great. We're getting rid of all this stuff. It's not right. It's against equal rights, right? Then they realize, oh no, people of color actually buy. They have spending power. So you now see a lot of these companies kind of sliding back. If you look at their commercials, you see a lot more people of color than you did before. You're now seeing, now that it's several months into them saying, oh, we don't care about diversity and inclusion until it hits their bottom line. Now you see they're like, okay, maybe we do need more diverse employees. Maybe we do need people of color in leadership. So there's some opportunities here right now because they're now seeing that their little experiment isn't working. So there are opportunities for you as a woman of color to step in and fill this leadership role. I recently had a client of mine tell me about this, and it was amazing. And she was telling me about Sally's, and I didn't know this. And she was saying that Sally's, like the beauty supply, were like their revenue was going down. And so they started to really take a look at their clientele. And most of their clientele was women of color and Black women. So what they did was listen to those people, have people of color and Black women in leadership roles and marketing and advertising, listening to them, and they revamped their website so that, because I don't know if you all know, but women of color, we like to shop by hair texture. I know I do. Is by hair texture. You could look at the products that work best for your hair texture. They changed their return policy because if y'all like me, I used to be a product junkie and love testing out new products. And then if it didn't work, it would just sit under my shelf. Well, now they were like, hey, you can bring it back. And it significantly increased their revenue by recognizing that people of color, that diversity works and people of color spend. So there are some amazing opportunities right now for women of color in leadership. Companies are seeing we do have power. We need to recognize our own power, influence, and impact. So now is your time. Again, if we go back to the income, you simply cannot stay at the same income right now either. So, how many of you all, let's be honest, how many of you all, before hearing this, was like, all right, if somebody asked you for your salary range, you said the same thing you're at, and you like, hopefully a little higher, but if I could just make where I'm at, let's just be honest, it's okay. I literally had someone, I had two people tell me this last week there. And I asked them, I was like, what's your salary range? They were like, I just want to make what I was making before. And I was like, well, that's just going to be unacceptable. Like, you can't do that. You will have less spending power. Like, if you want to pay your bills, you actually have to look at the rate of inflation, the rate that goods are going up. What is the rate that your rent is going up? And then you need to base your ideal salary on that. And especially once you get into leadership, you then can look into equity, bonuses, stock options. Like, now it's all these other additional ways that you can bring in income. Especially if you know, like Latrice, I know my stuff. I'm a great worker. I've been thriving. And when I say thriving, I mean hitting your goals, right? It may not be emotionally and mentally thriving, but if you're like, I've been doing well in my job, but this company is stalling out, it does mean you may need to go to a new company. When I say leadership, you guys, I mean, and I'm going to go back to this: influence, impact, and income. Do you have the influence? Do you have the impact? And influence is in leadership, impact and income. If your company is not willing to pay you more, and I understand a lot of companies are doing layoffs, but there are industries that are growing, and you need to be looking into those industries. I'm trying to give you all, as I'm giving you all the reasons why, I'm giving you all practical steps that you can take as well. Let me know if that makes sense. I'm giving you the why, but I'm telling you how to implement and some practical steps that you can take today as a woman of color. Okay. And if you are like, Latrice, I like this, but I may need some assistance here, I am here for you. I have my Leadership Legacy program, which helps you step into leadership in your business or your career, hitting to 200K or beyond. I have my Fearless Branding Formula program, which helps you get to your first six figures if you're not quite there yet. And I also have VIP days. I have limited spots for those. But if you're like, Latrice, I need just a little bit of your time, and we can map out in 3 hours, we can map out the rest of the 3 months in the year and get your career and income back on track. If you're interested in that, just DM me leadership and I'll give you access to my calendar. You can book a consult call. We can talk. It's completely free. If you're like, Latrice, I want to hear more about this. How can I pivot into leadership? How can I go beyond? We have a free webinar you can watch on demand right now called How to Pivot in Your Career as a Woman of Color. I think it's actually How to Pivot in Your Career as a Woman of Color Beyond 40, but the tips are for everyone. So if you put pivot in the comments, you can get that workshop. Let me put this up. You can get that workshop completely free. You're also going to get access to my email list where I give exclusive videos, Zooms. Sometimes I do career Q&As. I'm sharing this, you guys, because right now we cannot afford to be on the sidelines. We can't even afford to keep things the same as they were in 2024. And I know some people was like 2024 is bad. I was like 2024 looked like a honeymoon compared to right now. And in saying that, there are still options. There's still opportunities out there for us. I'll leave you guys with this. I saw this guy on Instagram and he was very excited about all the opportunities, right? And I really was like, what is like, dude, what are you talking about? But he was like, as these companies are starting to turn their backs on diversity and equity and inclusion and people of color, he was like, they're not going anywhere. Do you know there are tens of millions, like on probably I would say 40 to 50% of the American population is someone of color, right? So for them to disregard all of those people, it has already started to impact their bottom line. But what he was saying is like, if you cater to this group, if you are a part of this group, there is so much opportunity out there. And I was like, it is so true. So I want to leave you all with that. As much as you hear all of the things of discouragement, I want to let you all know there's so much opportunity. I always share with you one of my clients, she'd been unemployed for 15 months. She got a $300,000 contractor role. $300,000 remote. I just had a colleague reach out to me today. If you all are interested, I had not be, but this person wanted me to share. There is a HR leadership remote role available. If you're interested in that, I am not the recruiter. I'm not the recruiter, but if you DM me, like HR leader or something like that, I will give you the link to that as well. They didn't want me, they were like, hey, share with kind of people you know, right? So I'm telling you all, there are literally positions and opportunities that want people of color, that want your unique gifts and your talents. Okay. So I want to share that with you all as well. Let me check the comments. Oh, hey, Janet. She says, this is pivot. All right. If you all have any questions, I said I was going to hop on here for 15 minutes. I'm a little over, but if you all have any questions, start to put them in the comments. I want to answer them. I want to make sure that you all understand why now is your best time to step into leadership. If you're already in a leadership role, how can you step up further? How can you enjoy the leadership? Even if your company is saying like, oh, we're doing layoffs, that doesn't mean you can't go into a leadership role in another company. I want to share that. Again, so many opportunities out here. More and more women of color are starting businesses. You guys, I'm going to predict that I would say 2026, 2027, we as a people are really going to be turning the tides, but it is going to be because of us, not because of an administration, not because of a boss, but because of us as a community. And we're going to see that there is so much opportunity for us to be leaders and serve the people who want to be served by us. Share our unique gifts and ability with the companies and the employers and the people who value it. All right. So lots of opportunity. I wanted to share that with you all. Again, Bonica messaged me to like I said, I'm still hearing about six-figure remote roles in leadership. I'm getting messages about people getting hired. So things are still moving and happening, even with all the craziness, even with shutdowns. There's still opportunities out there, but you need to step into leadership. And again, you need to step into your own influence and impact and create your own income. All right. You all have a great day. Thank you all for sharing your lunchtime with me. I appreciate it. Again, put pivot in the comments if you're interested in the How to Pivot as a Woman of Color free workshop. Lots of practical tips. If you are interested in booking a call with me, just DM me leadership. And if you're interested in that leadership role that I mentioned, just message me about that too. You all have a wonderful day. Enjoy your lunch. Bye.